Hello, soul friends. This is Miriam. Welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is going to be, what do they regret about you? What do they regret about you? So we're going to do oracle cards first to get a feeling on if you're in the right pile. And then for clarification, we will use some tarot. Remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice, or it's simply your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. No matter how you look at that, it's healthy and you are in the right place. So welcome back. Welcome if you're new. These are the decks we shall be using today. Wait. Yes. Group 2, this is the deck here. All these decks are mass produced. You can find them pretty much anywhere. Anywhere. You know, except for my local grocery store. You're not going to find them there. And then group 4, here you are. Okay. So let's get you some rocks. This topic was given to us by Lisa, my friend Lisa. I've mentioned her on program before. She is a wonderful, wonderful person. She has a podcast called We're All Psychic, which she has featured me on. I've been a guest on there a few times now. It's super fun. So go check that out and give her some love. She's like her and one other viewer are the only one that's ever given me topic ideas. Naughty, naughty viewers. You must give me ideas. I have none of my own. Okay. So group 1, you are going to be the gold sheen. Ooh, you can see it over here. Look at that. The gold sheen obsidian. Oh, it's showing up really nice today. Group 2, you're going to be this, whatever this is. Trying to narrow it down. Chalcedony, or if I'm saying that right, or kyanite. I don't remember. And then it looks very similar to this other one, which is not the same type of stone, but they're very similar. So I'm like, don't know. Okay. But it's pretty. It's pretty. And then group 3, you have this white quartz, snow quartz. And group 4, you are lapis lazuli. I do know that one. I'll do brain. I learned about this stone from one of my students. It was like her favorite. All right. Pause if you need. Oh, wait. This is the tarot deck we will be using today. There we go. This deck, I believe you need to get on Amazon. Or no, not Amazon. Etsy. I will link them in the description box. Eventually, I'm slow at getting those done. Okay. One moment while I see if I can answer this client. One of my sites went down. So, okay. We'll see you in the next one. We'll see you in your individual readings. Jeez. Bye. Hello, group 1. So if you picked the gold sheen obsidian, which now I lost its sheen because I dropped the stone. There it is. Let's go ahead and get into your reading all about what do they regret about you. This could be professional, romantic, platonic, familial. All of our little things are still in play like they have always been, okay? Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated. I'm supposed to be working today. I am working today, but my main site that I work on, Everclear, that I put in here, is not working. There's a bunch of us who can't get work today, and so I'm doing this instead while I wait for other people to call on other platforms. So let's go ahead and start off by just looking and seeing if you're in the right pile, what your situations are, who your person is, that kind of thing. So just think of your person, romantic, platonic, personal, professional. And we will get a look to see what it is they regret about you. Okay. I ran out of room to set everything down. All right, so let's start. We have choices. Fragment. No. 46 and 15. High Priestess Spirit. When this card shows up in my readings, it's a confirmation that whatever your intuition is at the moment about the situation, that you can trust that intuition. I feel like that's not good news for some of you, but let's just go ahead and keep going. Grove. It's hard to get these to show up, isn't it? Oh, that was 21 and 7. And summon. Okay. I like her face tats there. It makes me kind of want to go get some. But knowing me, I know I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it at all. Okay. My face would end up with like a million broken capillaries on it. I'm just really pale. So like I've noticed like on my legs, it doesn't matter now because like my legs are pretty well covered with tattoos, but like as we were going, there'd be like these little broken capillaries that would show up around the tattoos sometimes. I'm like, hey, good thing I'm covering this up with more ink or that would make me mad. Okay. I'm like, artists love to work on people with pale skin because they can see what they're doing better, but a lot of times, like, yeah, if there's any bruising or spreading or any of that, people are going to notice it more because you're so pale. That sucks. Anyway, but we don't get as ashy, so that's cool. Unless you have tattoos, and then the tattoos get ashy. All right, some of you might have tattoos. I keep talking about it. These people have face tattoos, so that makes me think of tattoos. The person that you're thinking about might have tattoos. You might be an artist. They might be an artist. So let's get all that out of the way. So this person regrets choices that they made. Choices that they made that fragmented what they had with you. Definitely feeling romance vibes, which is super gross. But I handle breakup readings better than like romance readings. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of. I hate them all. Why am I lying to myself? Why am I lying to you and myself? We all know how I feel about romance reading. At this point, if that's a bothersome to anyone, they would have run for the hills by now. Anytime I diss on romance readings, I always like lose at least one follower. I'm like, it's okay. You didn't want to stick around for this. I would have been making you angry left and right with my anti-romanticism that I'm toting. Okay. They made choices and they fractured something or fragmented something between you. Everything fell apart, or at least they can't have you the way you were before. Whatever you had with them before, they can't get that back. And that's what they regret. You deep down know that that's probably what they regret. You also know deep down that this was an ending that was supposed to happen. Okay. But lately, especially right over here, possibly you've been thinking about getting in touch with them, or maybe you are doing this reading because you saw something about them, or they tried to get in touch with you and maybe you didn't answer. So there's a couple of different storylines there. One of you wants to summon them, and some of you have been summoned by them. Anything not romantic here? If this is not a romantic connection, but this is like a friendship that you feel got fragmented, or somebody did something, made some bad choices when it came to you, go ahead and stick around. There might be some messages in here for you. Because as I said I actually didn't say in the intro, but when I said when you guys were getting started here with me, oh God, My fingers just like swelled up and this ring was like squeezing my finger. Just switch fingers for a minute. Somebody's guide just said, so like not to bring up my health issues, but some of my guides said that maybe somebody that's watching right now is suffering from an autoimmune disease of some kind. And the reason that made me think of that was I was switching my ring from this finger to this one because this one had swollen. I've been going to see a rheumatologist to try to figure out why I'm so sick and why I can't work and why I can't go out in public and why I can't be around food and all that fun stuff. And they're talking about how they wanted to like check my joints and ultrasound my joints because even though I wasn't like having pain in my joints, inflammation in the joints would prove I had autoimmune disease. So some of you might have an autoimmune disease because that somebody's guide said, tell them. Maybe you don't know you have one. So if you're anybody out there suffering from a strange illness, always go to a doctor. I'm not a doctor. Even my doctors can't figure out how to fix me. So don't listen to any friggin' advice I have for you other than what your guides say, which is maybe look into autoimmune if you're not sure what you have. And then for those of you that are like, yeah, I know I have autoimmune, I've been diagnosed, just know you're in the right pile. Okay. Yeah, I'm not getting anything else but romance. Let's move. I like that. I like it when there's only a couple of storylines I have to get through. Okay. So for those of you that are thinking about summoning them, and some of you that's going to intensify when you hear, like I say, oh, they regret, what they did to you. Or they at least regret choices that they made in regards to you. But let's get some more. Yeah, thank you, Spirit. I'm not even going to go any further than that. I'm going to put this right on top of the High Priestess because they say you know already what the deal is. You can summon that person and try to bring them back to you, and they'll probably come. They might show up. Okay? They might just show up and be like, oh, I made a big mistake. I want you back with me because this is giving me nothing but romance vibes. Anytime you have a person in your life, and I don't care what the, relationship is, what those dynamics are, but any person that you have in your life, when you go, good grief, some of you are yawning maybe. If you go and they disappear and then come back and try to find you later, just when you start to put your life together and tell you that they regret things and they want to fix things, right? Sorry if you hear that paper rustling. My cat's sleeping in a little box that has paper in it. She likes paper. Red flag when they show up like that. Where were they before when things got hard? They bailed, right? Please, 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 when people come back like that, take what they say with a grain of salt, set down firm boundaries that are non-negotiable, and then stick to them. Because I guarantee y'all 99.99999% of the time they do the same shiziggies over and over and over again. If they shenan once, they will shenan again, as a meme I saw says. Yes, they might trap you. I feel that you have love for this person, and so that's what makes it hard to not summon them sometimes, because it's not like you love what they did to you, obviously not, right? But because you love them, you just wish that they would take a different course towards you, right? But they haven't been. So those of you that are like, I'm thinking about summoning them, hold off, man. I'm just saying, like, you can call them if you want. You guys are masters of your own destiny. And your guides are guides. Just like I'm a medium that helps you reach your guides. We are not your bosses. We are not telling you you have to do this or else. But if you were like my friend and we were like having coffee and you were like, oh, he called, what do I do? Or I'm thinking about calling him. This is what I would say to a friend, like, don't call him, right? Okay, he's back. Take what he says with a grain of salt. He's done this before, that kind of thing. Sorry, I'm picking on the he's. That was just in my mind because of all the all the calls that I got over Valentine's Day were mostly female. I actually got a lot of males this time too, though. So I should be more inclusive to our gentlemen who watch. Okay. So she, he, women do it too. Let's see what your guides have to say for advice. And what do they regret about you as well as the topic. There's another conflict chaos card. Like, this person does care for you. They regret what they did, but at the same time, like, they haven't resolved any of the personal conflict that they have in their mind and body and soul that led them to this situation in the first place. And that's not looking like they're likely to change. And this card always comes with that warning of, like, keep away from the dramatic people, right? Yeah, the Magician. Manipulation. Okay, if they were really sorry, like, yes, they have regrets, but it's almost like the regret that they have is that they didn't trick you enough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you're like, no, they really have changed and everything's fine, then maybe this isn't your group. But like, you know, intuitively, your guides say you already know this. So get honest with yourselves. Get honest with that little uncomfortable truth that your guides are pointing out, right? I have the same issue. You know how long it takes me to finally cut someone loose and send them on their way because I try so hard to make stuff work and to apologize, and then I apologize for stuff I shouldn't have. It's stupid. Okay, so I've got some cheater vibes. Since this is a romance reading now, we've got cheater vibes, my friends. Cheater vibes. So, man, oh man, oh man. And that's a hard one to navigate because you could end up trapped. And that's the thing, trapped. You might have made them feel like they were trapped, and so they cheated, right? But really all you were doing was just like wanting commitment like a normal person, okay? Or wanting commitment because that's what you guys agreed to in the first place, and then they broke that arrangement, right? What else we got? 3 of Wands. Queen of Swords. Yeah, they might have big plans. Tell you, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I'm going to let you meet my kids. You know, I'm going to communicate more. I'm not going to cheat anymore. I won't see him ever again. I won't see her ever again. No, we aren't talking anymore. Okay? And maybe they're not. And maybe that's why they're back. Everything like that. So your guides are saying that even if you have to be alone, you would be better off than to be with somebody like that because they keep doing the same things. They keep making the same choices. Like, yes, this is like half angel, half devil here, but the side that wins is the side you feed the most. And if they're out there cheating and lying and doing all that stuff, pushing you away, then coming back in close to try to hook you when you start to move on with your life, not cool, dudes. So look up Queen of Swords, embody that power because that is your power right now. If you're thinking about reaching out to them, I would highly recommend that you not. Then they'll know. Okay. If you're having a hard time because you're thinking about them constantly and wanting to be with them and it's, you know, just killing you, you can't stop thinking about them, etc. and so forth, you can book a reading with me. We don't even have to do a reading to see how things end up. I would just teach you an energy technique that I teach all of my clients, and they all swear up and down that it really, really brings them a lot of relief and can also kind of help the situation resolve sooner. So give me a call anytime. If this was helpful, give me comments how. If you'd like to see me do a specific reading, give me topic ideas in the comment section. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. You can also email me, message me. If you message me on my Facebook account, just know it might take me a few days to see it because I'm never on there. And just make sure you say something more than just like hi, because if you just say hi, I'm just going to think you're one of those people that wants to make a friend, you know? All right, we'll see you in the next one, y'all. Take care. Bye. Hi, group 2. So if you picked the blue stone, let's go ahead and take a look at what your person, romantic, platonic, professional, personal, whichever one you have. So we're going to lay out these cards and make sure you're in the right group. To be continued. So let's look into, this will tell us who the person is, probably the situation, and then your guides will probably start to give you advice. That's what happened in the last pile. So let's go ahead and take a look. We have third chakra, Archangel Shamuel. Solar plexus. See how he's holding it? The solar plexus is like right above the belly button, right where, and right underneath your ribs, okay? And it's yellow. It's yellow. All right, number 37, by the way. Man holding a heart. I've been getting a lot of romance vibes from these cards, which is very gross, you guys. Financial constraints. Man, romance and financial constraints. Dang, okay. Goddess of the moon. And patience. Okay. Very similar vibes to group 1 in the romance category, but we also have some finances here. However, I think the finances are also connected to the romance. And the reason I think this is like I'm kind of getting this feeling of maybe, and we don't have to, if the genders for you and your personal situations are reversed, just reverse them, right? Or if it's like same gender, just, make you guys the genders you need to be, okay? We'll put people in their roles. So this looks like them to me, and this looks like you to me, all right? So even if you're male, this is you. Even if you're female, this is them. Or even if they're female, this is them, okay? Let's see here. I feel like, how do I say this without like totally bristling people? Oh, well, I guess if people get bristled, they can always just take off. It's a free country. It's a free YouTube. I feel like possibly some of you are feeling taken advantage of financially by this person, and that is one of their regrets, okay? And their solar plexus and probably their root chakra as well are suffering because it feels like that's part of what they regret, because like and I am feeling masculine energy very strongly, and I think it's because when men can't provide money, they're looked down more on, right? They're not seen as being as capable. Society expects them to provide even if the woman is working, all that stuff. And so that's kind of like hurt their self-esteem a little bit. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. That's a friend of mine that whenever they call, I'm always in the middle of doing something. I always feel so bad. Sorry, Cody. I think he's a watcher of this show. If you ended up picking this pile. But like this idea of like, you got kind of taken advantage of financially, and your person like feels bad that they didn't step up. They at least feel ashamed, okay? Because they had your whole heart, this person. And they messed it up, they feel, by sort of taking advantage. Like maybe they just didn't try hard enough to get a job, or maybe you kept sending them money and they wouldn't pay you back, that kind of thing. I can't tell. I mean, those of you that are in that situation know that that's the thing that happens. For those of you that haven't been in that situation, I cannot tell you how prevalent that situation is, where like it's like a long distance relationship and they just let somebody send them money like over and over and over again, but like the person's sitting there not really getting anything out of the situation, right? So this may have caused financial constraints for you. and they still wouldn't step up. And so that's part of what, like, you know, I don't know if you guys are broken up, but it feels like a lot of you are. And so that's part of their regret, is that they didn't step up. Okay. However, you need to trust your intuition, because part of you might be like, okay, when I moved on from this, or as I'm trying to move on from this, part of what's holding me up is wondering, will they ever step up? Will they ever change? Because they do have your whole heart. You're very, very like in love with this person, okay? Or at least you care deeply for them. And you don't want to believe that it has to end over something like money, over something about them being like, you know, I don't like the term deadbeat, but I don't know what another term for it is. Somebody give me another term for that in the comment section, because I feel like deadbeat is like, so it's basically like calling somebody useless, and I don't believe that anybody is 100% useless, right? As an old sponsor of mine, you say God doesn't make junk, right? If somebody's effing up, they're effing up, but like they're still like capable of changing and becoming a wonderful person. Everybody is. It's just a matter of what choices we make. And so that's why we get angry at people when they make their own choices. And I feel that anger coming from you towards them. They kind of had anger towards themselves. But what I want you to focus on as well is your guide's message saying that they aren't there yet when it comes to changing. Like, you know, deep down inside that if you were to, I love these tattoos that these cards have. They all have like little face tattoos and like these cool body tattoos. Look at that, so cool. Anyway, I love tattoos. Something about tattoos might be in this reading for you too. Very similar to group 1, but I mean, all these characters have tattoos, so don't take that too hard if it doesn't resonate for you. But you intuitively know that like they aren't ready to change. That like this chakra is not doing well. Okay. And that they're just going to ask you to be patient again. And like, how patient can you be when like somebody won't do anything differently, you know? Is their regret genuine? Yes. Is it enough for them to make change? No. Is it enough for them to say they will and maybe even fully intend to? But then once you're back, they slip back into that same role? Yes. Right? Let's get some more messages for you. The Magician and the Mirror. This is so similar to group 1. They could very well try to manipulate you to get back into your good graces. Okay. And that's not good. The best way to get to work something out is to be blunt and honest and truthful. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel, or Ariel, depending on how you pronounce. Second chakra is the sacral or sacral chakra, depending on how you say your stuffs. And that is tied into like creativity, sexuality, pleasure, you know, what else? It's orange. And so I feel like because they were the way they were with their solar plexus chakra, that kind of made your sacral chakra feel a little bit sick or off, or maybe it's a little bit blocked now, okay? So I highly recommend looking up, sorry for the paper, my cat hates it when I do these videos. She absolutely hates it. She absolutely hates my voice projecting in any way, shape, or form unless... No, she hates it in every way, shape, or form. That's why I'm trying to talk quietly, is because she's over here getting really agitated. And like, you know, probably most people will be like, well, so what? It's just a cat. But like, she has feline hyperesthesia. And it's kind of like a combo between a seizure and an anxiety attack. Like, it messes her up. Like, she could never be an outdoor kitty. because if she has an attack while she's outside, she could panic and run blind and then not know where she is and not be able to find her way home. One of my worst fears. And like lots of people, like when they're cat, they run from place to place in the house, sort of like they have zoomies, right? But in her case, she's not having fun and she's scared and she's disoriented. And I don't even know what she's seeing at that point. I don't know if they hallucinate, because it's kind of like a thing the vets don't really know. And all I know is that she's super scared. And so a lot of people, their cat has the zoomies, right? And so they just open the door and let them run outside. Don't want to do that if it's a hyper aesthetic fit. Okay. And so, the main thing to do with them is to get them away from any other animals, get them into a safe place where they can like get their back up against a wall so there's nothing behind them, and just like try to let it be quiet and calm them down, because it's so sad. One of the telltale signs of them having feline hyperesthesia is their backs twitch. So some of you might have needed to hear that. Some of you might just be cat owners. Okay. But yeah, they might try to manipulate you. And like, see the infinity symbol above his head? Like, this can be a positive card, but at the same time, like, this is about regret. Okay. And so this person is like, the infinity symbol over their head is like their guide showing that, like, the magician card, right, which is what I'm taking this card to be, is that it can stand for, like, depending on where it lands in the spread and whatever the vibe is, it can stand for like manipulation, okay, and twisting of things and glamoring people, that kind of deal. So your guides are showing that infinity symbol over his head in this case because, like, this person is not likely to change. This is a cycle that's not over yet. Even though they have regret, if you were to take them back, they would probably revert back into that same energy. So you got to be really careful if they come back. Let's see what else we've got. The Thinking Man. I'm not sure about that one. I have an idea, but I want to see the other card first before I say. Broken Heart. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, all right, y'all. This person is thinking. They regret. Mainly their regret is that you're not there. Okay. And yes, they think that, like, and let me know in the comments if you're comfortable. When they felt insecure about the money situation, did they like yell at you and be like, oh, because you just hate me because I don't have money, kind of thing? Even though that's not what you were doing. So it's like, even on top of having to make all the money, you also had to feel guilty for making the money, kind of thing. Okay. This person is thinking very hard on how to get back into that situation, or just like how to get into that situation with anybody, not just you. They need somebody to take care of them. Okay. So I don't see them being independent. I don't see them, moving on with their life right now. So if they've told you they've got a job, I don't know, y'all. I'd call that place and ask if they're there that day, right? If they say that, they're getting it together, that they're making it work, remember the magician is trying to manipulate you in this spread. So they're coming up with, their little wheels are spinning, coming up with ideas of how to get back towards you, okay? And it will end in a broken heart if you entertain them. That's what your guides are saying. So cease and desist for sure. If you decide, and this is what I told group 1 as well, I'm not your boss. Your guides are not your boss. We're just guides. And so I'm not even really a guide. I'm just the medium between you and you. I'm the bridge between you and your guide, the telephone wire. They're not your bosses. So if you want to entertain them when they come crawling back, and they probably will, you can. You're a free agent. You can do whatever you want, but watch their actions more than what they say. Set down firm boundaries before you even take a step towards reconciliation with them. And then if they break those boundaries, which they very well might, you do not falter. You don't back down. You stick to those boundaries. You enforce them. Okay? Let's get you some tarot just to get some more advice, see what's going on. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, they're probably coming towards you, but they are kind of coming slow. I feel like maybe this breakup was a little bit recent. There's a lot of history between you, and that's what makes things hard. The person who is in the right will come out on top. I would feel that is you. For some, finances might be revealed to be improved with this card. Someone else might step into your sphere to help you with finances. Don't help them anymore if they call up with a hard luck story. That's coming through with that. Yeah, it's your guides are saying to let this go. You know, it was beautiful in the past, maybe for a while, but this is where it's headed. Oh, it's so raw. I can't even hardly look at that card. It makes me hurt just looking at it. It's so raw looking. And it feels like it hurts. So anyway, that's what I'm going to say. Like, I don't feel like I should keep beating this. This deceased steed anymore. So yeah, be really careful, you guys. If you're careful and you listen to your guide's advice, your burden will soon be at an end, okay? If this is making your feelings feel awful and you can't stop thinking about them, you're wondering about it all the time, etc., etc., and so forth, if they get a hold of you and you're like, oh no, what do? I don't know what to do, and then they start taking up all your energy and taking up all your thoughts, give me a call. I can give you a really quick little exercise that will help alleviate all of that. It will help. I use it with my clients all the time. We don't even have to do a reading. It takes like maybe 5 minutes of your time. So it's not even that expensive of a thing to ask for. It's like, so like just email me and say, I'd like the energy pulling package. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? But it's called energy, pulling is what I call it. And so just, bring that up and email to me, and, we could work that out. If you're planning on calling me on the forum or on the platform that I work, Everclear, I just can't get on that site right now. And I probably won't get on until Wednesday or Tuesday I probably won't get on until Wednesday because I have a specialist appointment on Tuesday, and today is Sunday and tomorrow's President's Day. So I don't know if they're going to get it fixed before Tuesday, and I probably won't be on that day because I have to go out of town. What a nightmare. Sorry for all the info, but in case, somebody must have been thinking about calling. So email me, my email and everything. If it's not in this description box, I've been kind of bad about filling out my description box. Ooh, that's what I'll do after this video because our sites are all down. That'll work. That'll give me something to do and make me feel a little more useful. If you ever see like, oh, it's in the description box, and then you look and you're like, no, just the timestamps are there. Just like click on one of my older videos, like go to my channel and just like scroll down and it'll be there, like where you can find me, my email and my Everclear platform connection, as well as just information on how else you can get a hold of me. MiriamTheMage@gmail is my email. So, all right, y'all. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Hi, group 3. So if you picked the snowy quartz, it's funny when you put it up against this, it almost looks kind of pink. I don't know if you can see that because the flower is white. Nope, it just looks white for you guys. It looks a little pink when I put it there. I've noticed that with a lot of quartz over the years. Maybe if I put it next to this guy. Not really. Okay, never mind. So anyway, let's look and see about your person. Romantic, platonic, personal, professional. Dang it, I hate it when they fall and then their little quarters do that. No, I do it all the time. It also can happen when you shuffle the way I do. But my hands are usually too small to do the bridge and the bend thing, and I don't like to bow my cards. Sometimes they bow anyway, and that makes me sad. So these will tell you who your person is and what they regret. And then what's been happening is generally the guides pop in with like advice on how to deal with this situation. The last two piles were basically the same situation. It was weird. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. From the below to the above. Interesting. Okay, so this is a very unusual message coming through here, and so I need my notes. As above, so below. Some of you may have heard that, and some of you may know what it sounds, what it means, right? In my learning, what I've come to be told or instructed that it means is that to be continued. So anyway, as above, so below is like acting as if on earth, as if your creator would in heaven kind of situation. So like it's about a connection to the divine. And this is very specific to some, but it's like this idea of your relationship with God, and you're wondering what their regrets are about you, in the sense of like how you aren't measuring up. Like, what do they regret about how you're behaving? Interesting. That's a very interesting take, and a very creative way to do a pick a card reading. Interesting. I kind of try to do that sometimes, because sometimes you can't find exactly the topic that you're looking for. So you like try to apply it to, whatever. All right, let's keep going. When all seems ended. Okay. Don't worry, the people with the creator, I've got other stuff coming in. I just want to get all the other cards out here before I say, drink from your own well water, your own garden. Some of you just might be gardeners. You might be trying to do like self-sustained living, like growing your own food. It's getting harder and harder to do that these days. Love forgives distance. Our shadows are beautiful. Okay. So let me try to tune in and see if there's anybody else here besides the people that this is about, wondering what your creator is just like regrets about you. Okay, so go ahead and, some of you that aren't doing this for the creator bit, go ahead and watch groups 1 and 2 if you want more info, or just hearing me say the same message over and over and over again. There must be one person watching all of these videos, and your guides are like, let's talk to them. Let's talk to them again. Okay. For some of you, there might be a bouquet that looked just like this that was in your life that you remember. Hummingbird, dragonfly, death. Not sure what kind of birds those are. And moth, which is also connected to death, seem to be your spirit animals that are coming through. Sorry, I'm talking so quiet because my poor cat. So anyway, some of you have a romantic interest who regrets that they weren't there for you in some way. Like maybe they let long distance relationship like break you up, and they regret like not trying to make it happen. Okay. And they might have sent you flowers at some point, right? But like it was too late perhaps. All right, so that's coming through for some of you. Other things besides the romance element, Spirit. So much romance today. Gross. Before I move back onto the creator storyline, which I like better because it's not romantic. What else? Like the romance people, they now realize that distance didn't matter. Okay, that distance didn't matter. That you're, and they might have talked themselves into the breakup by like focusing in on like what wasn't working, right? And they now know that whatever, this is hard to say, it's like even the bad things or the less than perfect things, right? Or your character defects were not something that should have driven them away from you. They now realize that it just made you more of a well-rounded person. Nobody's perfect, and that they actually now know that time has gone by, that like that's just part of who you are, and that they were just trying to talk themselves into that situation. They might not have wanted to be tied down now that they were in a new location. There might have been some affairs or cheating of some kind. They might have called and said, I want to see other people. And you're like, F that noise. I'm a one person kind of person. Okay. And so that's definitely coming through. If that's your situation, go ahead and watch groups 1 and 2, both of them, because they were almost the exact same message. Other things, Spirit. Okay, so we're going to move back into the creationism, the creator relationship message, which is this drink from your own well water in your own garden. That's like your creator saying that, and this too, that you're exactly what you were intended. Okay, you were exactly what is intended. None of us were made perfect. We were all made to mess up. Okay, and that's part of how we learn. That's also part of how we help others learn. Because so much about coming to this ghetto lifetime, I'm sorry, like if your soul chose to come to this earth, this planet, this dimension, whatever you want to think of it as, you were like signing up for the ghetto detail. You were like, I want to go, like, it's like, signing up and then going to like the most like dank third world country you can think of to like be a medic, right? Or be an EMT, or going to the most violent, crime-ridden city to be a police officer, or going to the most crime-ridden city with the most hellish conditions to be a teacher, right? That's what all the souls who have come to Earth have signed up for. So yeah, it's never easy. And so because it's so hard, part of us effing up is, part of our opportunity to teach others, because that's the main reason why everybody comes to this ghetto, is to help others, okay? And to learn more about ourselves, and to look at that shadow energy, right? This whole planet is like a shadow to me. And it's because of the immense suffering, the whole reality of it. It's like nothing's fair, random illogical things happen, tragedy strikes, to be continued. And so you've chosen to be born into a very imperfect world, and I feel like you're trying just a little too hard to be like more righteous, more perfect, okay, more infallible. And you can't, because this is where we are. It's part of the package, right? We come into it, even if you're a light worker, we come into it with those same human flaws, okay? So what your guides are telling you is that your creator is perfectly happy with see how the person is above the like supernatural being. I'm taking that, and they're holding a flower. I'm taking it as them actually looking up to you and how you've been behaving in this life. When all things seem like they're at their darkest, you're able to reach into your own personal reserve to pull out what you need, okay, to bring love to this world. And I'm seeing the love forgives distance, because I feel like you understand that love, the love that you feel for these humans that we're helping, right? Because I feel like maybe your soul might not be human. You might have decided to hop into a human body to really try on the ghetto experience here on Earth. That means you're extra special. But anyway, their distance from their creator, you forgive that distance because you understand, right? You're able to forgive their shadow aspects. And all your creator wants you to do is do the same for yourself, because your creator finds that even your dark attributes are still beautiful. You're still what was intended. Group 3. Okay, so let's get you some more cards. So your short answer for what do they regret about you, your creator, absolutely nothing. For those of you that this is a love connection, they regret not keeping you, not cherishing you, not doing what you needed them to do, okay? They miss you at night. Some of you might feel lonely at night. Is it caring for them? Oh, it's its wing. Makes sense. Little barn owls. I'm not sure what that means, so I'm going to go ahead and move forward. The vastness of it all. I love this deck of cards. I have another deck that's these same little artists and the same little critters. What's that show that they're... It reminds me of, like, it's Into the... No, not Into the Wild. I don't know where the wild things... I don't know. I never read them. I just saw the little critters on TV. Blessed Reunion. Interesting. The Return of the Lost Selves. Look, it's the same owls. Barn owls. They are very screechy when they hoot. I don't know if they hoot or if they just go rah. I'm not sure. They're piercing with their calls. Okay. For those of you that this is a romantic connection, this person feels the regret and the loneliness more at night. They imagine where you are out there somewhere, right? What are they doing? They imagine having a blessed reunion with you. There's that dragonfly. I was looking at that and pointing at these hummingbird. That's a bee. I think they realize how sweet you were. You're like this sweet little bee in this like wintry land. Wow, they're really idolizing you. If they're a breakup, gross. They want to have a reunion with you, and they feel like that's going to help them find themselves. And that's my red flag for them. So if you're like, oh, maybe they're coming back, they might be coming back, but not for the right reasons. And that's exactly what I got for the other two groups. So something to think about. You know, you're never obligated to reject somebody because I've said this to you or because your guides have told me to say this to you. But keep it in mind if they come back. Watch actions instead of listening to words. Set up firm boundaries that are non-negotiable and stick to them, even if that means having to walk away again. If you feel like you couldn't stand to walk away again and go through that again, don't rekindle. You know what I mean? Okay, moving along. Sorry, that was a loud drink of my coffee I just took. No, it might be somebody's birthday today. Because, like, it's not my birthday today, but I grabbed the happy birthday mug. I don't know if you can see it, because I can't tip it without... Yeah, see? Happy birthday. Anyway, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Let me know in the comments and I'll say happy birthday again. Okay. This person you're wondering about might be thinking about you more because it's nearing your birthday. And they might be remembering a time that they let you go on your birthday. Or like let you down on your birthday, I should say. Or maybe that wasn't. Maybe that wasn't a slip. Maybe they broke up with you on your birthday. For those of you that this is about God, your creator. Sorry, I call it God. I was raised like Christian, and I stayed Christian up until like I was 17. Excuse me. I'm blowing my nose. Sorry. So, anyway, like I was baptized Christian. Not when I was a kid. I actually did that when I got older and didn't even consider myself a Christian anymore. But I did it to make peace with that religion from my past, right? And to let the deities from that religion know that I still talk to them, that I still believe in them, that I think they're still the same as how, there's still a facet of what I think of my creator now. I don't know why I'm talking about this. It must be something important. I don't know that, but I just got pulled in a different direction. It's hard to do these because I kind of go into a trance, and then it's hard to remember to look at the camera, make sure it's recording, make sure I'm staying on topic. Okay. So I think that covers the romance. You heard the warnings, and I think you know what to expect. Yes. So yeah, the creator people. I feel like you feel very lonely at night, that like sometimes you feel like the only thing you do have is your creator because people don't understand. That ties into that light worker or, non-human souls inhabiting human bodies. I 100% believe that happens. And it happens for a reason, and that's for us to help people. I'm saying us because I believe that I'm not a human. I'm just in a human body, and that's why I'm so sick. So, something to think about. Some of you might be ill, and that might be part of it, right? Oh, jeez. I'm so sad. My Everclear platform, I can't get onto it. A bunch of us can't. Some of us can, and some of us can't. The advisors that are on there, and I've got like clients messaging me, and I can't even answer them, and it's driving me up the wall, you guys. Pray for me. I hate it when I can't control stuff, especially it's stuff that makes me money. Okay, anyway. Your guide is showing you that, like, at the end of this vastness, that this wintry place, I feel like the earth has just kind of gotten to you lately because of the darkness of it, because of the ghetto-ness, right? And your creator is telling you that you're doing great, that like you're going to have a blessed reunion when you finish this life, because you don't have anything to feel regret. They don't feel any regret over what you've been doing. So if you have like major things that you think you did wrong, like forgive yourself. Your creator does. Okay? And let what you are, the essence of who you are, return to you. Let your creator return to you. Like, I feel like when we think God is mad at us, or that our creator is mad at us, that we like might stop talking to them, right? And you're already forgiven, okay? So let's look at some tarot. Ooh, Queen of Swords. I'm going to put it upright. Your guides want you to embody the Queen of Swords. She stands by her truth. Yes, healing is coming. You're going to find your balance again. I think maybe just hearing this from your creator will help you find that balance. There's nothing you need to do or say, right? It's just what you need to feel. You're going to be all right. When Judgment Day comes, you are going to be welcomed back, forgiven, right? And for Judgment Day, I don't mean that we're all Christians here. I just mean that, when you're called home, right? That you're going to be okay, that you're going to be celebrated even. You're feeling beat up and broken now. But your true home is waiting for you, and, but not yet, right? And you're going to be okay. You're going to be celebrated. You have done nothing wrong. I am going to leave it there. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you would like to book a private reading, There are ways to do so in the description box. Sorry to talk so quiet and mousy, but my poor little kitty, she's so sad. So we will see you in the next one, my friends. Take care. Bye. Hi, group 4. So if you picked the lapis lazuli stone, let's go ahead and get into your reading. All about what does your person regret about you. Oh, wow. Look at that. This could be romantic, platonic, personal, or professional. I apologize for my voice being so quiet. If you hear paper rustling, I have a very upset kitty cat. And she has a condition that's kind of like a anxiety disorder mixed with seizure. It's called feline hyperesthesia. If you have a cat that gets zoomy but they're scared, and their skin on their back rolls and twitches when they're upset like that. All cats can kind of get that every once in a while, but this is like chronic. And all that, you might want to find out if they have hyperesthesia. If they do have it, you never want to put them outside when they're in that state. They can get lost. Okay. So I'm talking quietly because my voice is bothering her, but at the same time, like, she won't separate from me right now, so I apologize. I wanted to get this reading done because Lisa gave us such a good topic. What do they regret about you? So let's go ahead and take a look. This will tell us. Today has been such a weird nightmare on the platforms. They're all acting messed up. Like, that one will ring, and like, because I work on like 3 different platforms, that one will ring and it like doesn't, it rings and then there's no way to answer it, but you can hear it ringing. And then Everclear is totally out right now. I can't even log in to answer my messages. It's so frustrating. I have like 2 different messages from my clients right now. I can read their messages, I think, but I can't reply to them. And I can't turn on my availability. So I'm just making a video trying not to go crazy that I don't have control over that aspect of my life. And my poor cat is upset and I'm having to like whisper read. So I apologize. And maybe some of you are like, oh, it's so much better. She's not squawking like she normally does. Okay, let's look and see. These will tell you if what they regret. It'll also give you some idea of like, advice for you or whatever, but this will definitely tell you who your person is and what they regret. So let's go ahead and look. It can be romantic, platonic, personal, professional. We have House Mouse 27. You know the things you are capable of, but are you confident in leaning into that belief? Okay. I've never seen that card before. I've had this deck for a couple of years, or at least 1 year. Brigid, I know it's not pronounced that way. It's like Brie or something. It's like Celtic pronunciation. I suck at it. Number 11, Brigid's doll. She's a saint. Thread by thread, I weave my desires, working as one with the source of creative power. Winter Woodlands, take time to honor what you feel. Self-compassion is the healing balm you desire. Greenhouse 23, may it be clear the intentions I sow in preparation for the path ahead. And Peppermint, number 33, take from me what keeps me held back, clearing myself from all that does not belong in the vision of what is to come. For spirit animals, y'all have fox, mouse, owl, crow, fox again, and moth. Okay. This one might have romance in it, but it feels more broad than that. So go ahead and stay if you're looking at a romantic connection. All the other piles were romantic connections, gross, and there was a little extra bit in group 3 that was a different situation, but for the most part, it was like all the same message, sort of, with like a few different key details in there. So if you are looking at romance, you might want to check out the other groups if you felt drawn to one of those. But I do feel like we could apply romance to this a little bit. It just feels more broad. This person that regrets something, they regret not being confident and stepping into something that had to do with you. It's interesting because I see, like, I mean, this is, Seasons of the Witch Oracle, so obviously they're going to be doing witchy things, but that might be what drew you to this pile. It almost feels like this was a mentor or a student. And they realize now that part of their regret that has to do with you is that they didn't have confidence in either learning or teaching you. And it's like one of their big regrets in life. Okay, so if you had a teacher that kind of let you down, often that always makes me feel God, because I was a teacher and I'm haunted by, I never had a kid tell me I let them down, right? But like, what are the chances that some kid's going to tell you that? They're just going to go off through their life thinking that, and maybe telling some people in their lives that you let them down. Right? It's like this like nightmare. It haunts my dreams of like, where did I F up with those kids? Did I like make anybody like, did I hurt anybody's feelings and they just carry it with them forever now? All those things. Like, it's so awful. And it's part of like what I cling to when I'm like, oh, I miss teaching. It's like, well, at least you don't have to worry about ruining a kid's life now, So anyway, that's the regret. They regret that, so it's like two different things. This could be a student, it could be a teacher. So let's do the two different ways. So, if you had a teacher that let you down, I feel like they honestly did the best they could and they regret it, and because it's like teacher student, relationship. Yeah, I'm not feeling romance here, guys. So like, if you're looking for romance, go ahead and hop into one of the other groups that you felt drawn to, or look at the intro again and see if there's one that you feel drawn to, because this feels like student, teacher, teacher, student, mentor, protege. Okay. Protege, mentor. Right? I'm just saying protege. Sometimes I just make over pronunciations to be a dork. Anything else that I'm seeing here? Like, I'm seeing like maybe like, trainer, trainee, trainee, trainer, those kinds of, coach and athlete, or coach and subject, whatever you're getting coached in. So they lacked confidence, and that's how they let you down, whether they were in the teacher position or you were in the student, whether they were in the teaching position, you were in the learning position, or vice versa. So if it was a teacher situation, they let you down. You guys are saying that they did the best they could, that they weren't malicious in their intentions towards you, even if it felt that way. And they're saying that, they were just dealing with a lot. Okay, lots of different like situations that didn't have anything to do with you. Lots of other students or teaching, people that they were teaching, plus their personal life, plus, and every teacher out there, or anybody that's been in a teacher role, has regrets of ways that they didn't teach right, of mistakes they made, of times that they let their emotions get in the way, right? So, I don't feel like it was a malicious situation. I might be being easier on them. No, I wouldn't be if they were being a jerk. I know what bad teachers looked like abusive ones. I know what that looked like. I lived in the 80s, so they got away with a lot. Yeah. I know that, I'm pretty sure you can say this on YouTube now, because it's actually one of those like names for something that used to be derogatory that isn't anymore. Like, people kind of took it back, and that's the word queer, right? We had a teacher in high school that would call us the Q word, But she didn't mean it like, oh, we're taking it back. Good for you guys. And like, she didn't know what like our sexual like affiliations were. She just called us that when she thought we were being weird, right? Because she was like older. She also said like anti-Semitic things. It was like, holy, really? You know, is this, am I conscious? Is this happening? Because not only did I grow up in the 80s, I lived in like rural nowhere, middle of nowhere, and like the teachers were like ancient. So like they were living in a different time. They had been in a small town, they hadn't gone out anywhere, you know, and so they had no idea probably that people were starting to like be like, you can't talk like that. So anyway, sorry, that was my life mate, Mr. John, giving us a little message. Sorry if he blew out your eardrums. Oh man. He's just reacting to things. He was literally just reacting with like emojis to everything I'd sent him on Signal, because we talk through Signal, because we send each other like videos a lot of times, and because like Instagram will only let you do like 30 seconds of video or whatever. We like to send each other long videos like, hey, check out this thing that I saw outside. Check it out. Check out this part of this TV show I was watching. Anyway, good old Signal. But yeah, your guides were telling me that the thing to heal from this like disappointment of a teacher, because I feel like you really respected this person. This could have been like a mentor, not just like a classroom teacher, you know? I rewatched Nurse Jackie. If you ever get a chance to watch that show, it's so good. If you like hospital shows, it's like a hospital show. I don't like hospital shows, but like I like Nurse Jackie because it's got this like, she's a Vicodin addict, but she's a really good nurse. And you just watch her spiral each season, right? She has a trainee at the very beginning of season 1, and that trainee gets disappointed in her, you know, because she's an addict, right? And so I'm feeling that Zoe Nurse Jackie connection, okay? And Zoe ending up being a better nurse than Jackie because Zoe, you know, doesn't end up on Vicodin, you know, at least not during that part of the show. Anyway, it's such a great show. Watch it. You gotta watch it. Let me know what you think of it in the comments if you do. Let me know in the comments if you have watched it. It's such a good show. It's such a good show. I watch it every year. I watch the whole series. But yeah, that disappointment of like looking up to somebody so much and then realizing that they're not as cool as you thought they were. Like Stephen King was my favorite writer. And I'm not even gonna get into his politics because I don't care about politics. I know that he's like spoken out politically over the years, and that's not my beef with him. My beef with him was that when I got older, after I majored in English and all of that stuff, and just after I just became an adult, because I was reading that guy when I was like in 5th grade. I shouldn't have been, but I was. And I loved him. He was my favorite. Like as I got older, I started like realizing that his dialogue is terrible and that his portrayal of women is pretty lackluster. And I used to think it was like actually good because I loved Rose Madder, and that was written from the perspective of a female, and I thought he actually like got into the head of a female pretty well. And I'm not saying that he can't do that, but like I can't read through one of his books without like a woman getting out of line, like being really, really snippy. And like, you know, she's a B word for sure, but then like, you know, just to put her in her place, like the good guy slaps her, but the good guy's a guy. And I'm like, I don't care if she's a bad guy, you still don't slap a woman. And I'm like, what the hell, Stephen King, right? Wouldn't it be great if he ended up running across this someday? You know, and then his dialogue is like forced and terrible, right? And like as a kid, you know, you're reading like grown-up dialogue, so you don't know any better. But at the time, you know, it didn't seem that bad. And now that I'm older, I'm like, that is like the worst, cringiest dialogue I've ever heard in my life. The women are always like a major B word or some kind of like, I don't know, I call her the cool girl, you know, the girl who understands where the guy is coming from. Ugh. It's like when you find out your dad wasn't as cool as you thought he was. That's what it feels like. See, my poor cat. She's like rustling over there because I'm raising my voice and she doesn't like it. Okay. So anyway, that kind of disappointment, like, you're not who I thought you were. Your guides are saying that self-compassion is all you need. Like, if they threw something on you, like said you disappointed them in some way. I had a professor do that to me. I was like working with my family in a booth, just for Christmas break. We're like selling as seen on TV stuff because my in-law like was selling stuff like that, and my husband was too. It was just like a way to make extra money, in between. And I ran into that guy there, and he was like, "Oh, so this is what you're doing now," kind of situation, because he thought I was going to go to grad school and become a professor just like him. And that burned me, and he wanted it to burn me, and that was disappointing because he was my favorite professor, right? That kind of feeling. Self-compassion, that's not even what I was doing. He made an assumption, and he shouldn't have, right? And even if that was what I was doing, how dare he cast judgment over where I ended up in my life? He doesn't know he doesn't understand the circumstances of what I was going through. And I wouldn't go to grad school now if you paid me, because I feel like the education system is wrecked up, and it costs way too much money in the universities to do anything. And I'm not, if I can possibly help it, I'm not going back there. Sorry, not sorry. So self-compassion is what you need to be like, no, this is the reality of the situation. Okay. May it be clear the intentions I sow in preparation for the path ahead. Yeah, you've forged a path without their guidance because they faltered, right? And they probably need to give themselves some self-compassion to move on, but who cares about them? This is about you. So we're still in the student with the teacher who disappointed. We'll get to the teachers whose student disappointed them in just a second. So let me just get through these, okay? You can do this. You've got the knowledge. They gave you enough knowledge, and you got knowledge from enough other places that you can find your way now that things have changed. So they're like these, the crow, the moths or butterflies, about transformation, which can be connected to death. Your guides are saying that, that was kind of what passed. The owl too is connected with that. That's what passed. And now you're moving forward. You're crafty enough. You have the knowledge of the fox. Okay. Crows learn lessons from how they're treated, right? And they move forward. They can hold grudges as well. So that might be something to look into and try to let go of. You don't have to call them up and be like, I forgive you. You're the best teacher ever, until you screwed up. But I almost said something else. But yeah, you don't have to do that. You don't have to excuse what they did. But you just kind of forgive them in your heart and move on, right? And then take from me what keeps me held back, clearing myself from all that does not belong in the vision of what is to come. You're just asking, and you need some peppermint to get you there. Like, drink some peppermint tea, burn some peppermint leaves. I don't know, however you use peppermint. Look up some peppermint spells, not smells. Just keep it away from cats because it can make them sick. But your guides are saying, just take what you learned and move forward. It's okay, that this person let you down. They do want you to know that they are not a bad person, that they just had a moment of, I'm trying to cuss so hard today, of essiness, right? And it's okay to, not excuse it, not want them in your realm, etc. Never talk to them again. But, let go of that resentment that you feel, or that feeling of abandonment. Okay. Moving on to the people that this is a student who disappointed you. It's kind of the same message. Okay. Try not to take it personally, This is part of their journey, is what I'm getting with these. And they're going to mess up, and you just had to look at that, and it might have hurt. I remember there was a point where I was doing restorative circles with a class of seniors. So, man, they should have known better, But kids now, it's this weird thing where we had if you said the wrong thing online, you could get canceled, right? Even if you didn't mean to. Well, now it's almost like the Generation Z kids are kind of like, they're rebelling against the generation before them, which was very much like, you don't say anything that's disrespectful. You don't make jokes, even, you don't make racial comments, even if you're just messing around and joking. And they're like kind of going the opposite way of like, oh, my teachers, right? They'll really get upset if I use the N-word, or if I say something horribly derogatory against women, or, religious people, or whatever, right? And I had this group of kids during restorative circles where the counselor said, what would you rid the world of? If you could rid the world of one thing, what would it be? She was thinking of things like cancer, right? And they all, just to, not all of them, 4 of them, just to be flip, were like, let's get rid of this whole group of people. And I was like, oh my word, I knew somebody was going to do that as soon as she said the topic. I knew it, And then 3 other ones were like, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. And I was like, oh my gosh. And my heart just sank and my belly got sick. And I was like, oh, and I was so disappointed in them for talking that way. Because they didn't even know what they were talking about anyway. They'd never lived around any of those kinds of people for very long. We live in a small town, so everybody's kind of the same. And then B, they did it with such abandon, with no reverence at all to like how anybody in that classroom could have been recording on their phone and 30 years down the road just release that information and just like ruin that person's life because they said that when they were 17, 18 years old, right? So it's that sinking feeling of like, oh, I can't believe you did this. This could be your own child even, right? Or a parent that let you down, the teacher element, right? I should have said that way back before, but maybe you guys put 2 and 2 together. Somebody was in teaching role and somebody was in learning role. Just feeling like so disappointed. It's like when you find out that your kid at school was being a bully and you're like, are you kidding me right now? Like, what? You were good. You're a sweet little kid to me at home. What are you doing, right? And you feel that horrible sinking feeling in your chest, and you just feel like you're a failure as like their guardian, as their teacher, as their boss, whatever it is. It says to take time to honor what you feel, and that goes for everybody in this group. It's like, honor your feelings. That is disappointing. I remember one time we had a girl protagonist in like one of the books we read. Every other book, the protagonist was like a male, right? Because most of the stuff that got published that's classic back in the day was only like males. And so this was like a contemporary piece that was written by a female. And the protagonist in the story was a female. And the story kind of starts off slow. And I warned them all it was going to, but it would finish really strong and they needed to read it. You have to like yank their teeth to get them to read anything anymore. And like these boys in class that were super, good to their little girlfriends. They were very respectful to women. Were like, well, I just can't relate to it because the protagonist is a female and I just can't relate to female protagonists. And at first I was just like, oh, okay, I get that. But then I was like, wait a minute. And my brain like locked up for a second. And I was like, why am I upset? And I was like, oh yeah, because every other girl in here read all these other male protagonists, right? And they related to them that entire time. They didn't have any problem with it. Like they've read books, like old historical accounts and like weird, uncomfortable. Once you get through college, you'll end up like reading a point of view of somebody who committed assault, right? Against a female. And still like not say like, I just couldn't relate to it, like, because we just like are so used to reading, from that perspective that it's just, it just comes second nature. We're all just human beings, And so I was, and I don't really get into politics or worrying about like, but it like made my heart sink because I'm a female. I was like, dang it, so you can't relate to me at all or empathize with me or your fellow students? Like, really? Because that's what leads to the violence against women, is that mentality. Not that I thought those guys were going to be violent, right? But it's like, don't perpetrate that, I know. So as an educator, it was disappointing. Both of those instances, right? The first one being even worse. Like those other kids, I felt like we talked and maybe they got something out of it. Maybe they didn't, but they were respectful. Those other guys were just doing it to, see if they'd get in trouble, see if we'd freak out, see if we'd send them to the principal for just expressing their beliefs, right? And I didn't send them to the principal. I did mark them down on their conduct grade for being rude. That kind of thing. But, and then I, had a little talk with them about kind of what I just explained to you guys, like you can't talk like that. Anybody could have recorded this and you're done for, and I know you don't feel that way. You've never met any of those people, like, why would you say that? And if those people make you so upset, why didn't you wish for, the one thing to go away would be whatever it is that they do that makes you upset, as opposed to them themselves, human beings. That sounds like something that happened back in the day that ended in disastrous results. So anywho, your guides are saying that honor that disappointment within yourself. Give yourself some compassion. It's the balm you desire. Like, give them some compassion too. They're just a student. They're learning. Part of why they effed up like that in front of you is so that you could help correct them, right? They felt comfortable enough to F up in front of you. Those kids felt comfortable enough with me and that counselor to say what was on their minds, to be flip in front of us, because if they thought for even a second that it was going to be a major like S show for what they said, like we were going to call their parents or send them to the office for real, they probably wouldn't have said it, right? And so, or if they thought it was going to change our opinion of them in some way, because we just looked at it as like it was just kids being flip to, say this awful thing to, I had a teacher that wouldn't let you say hate or stupid, right? So one day in class I said, I hate this stupid assignment, that kind of thing, just to see what would happen. Nothing happened. He talked to me and told me I had to write an essay about it, and I said, okay, I can do it. And then he was like, okay, you're off the hook this time, don't do it again. I said, okay. And I smirked when I turned around. I was such a little bee. Ugh, I thought being a rebel was so cool. I mean, I still kind of do, I try to, do it a little differently. So the main thing is that your intentions were pure, right? You were trying to teach them the best that you could. And in the end of the day, it's their choice of how they're going to take what you've taught them and how they're going to like apply it to their life in the world. And if they don't do it in the right way, that's not really on you, y'all. That's their decision. Even though you were their mentor in some way, you were the teacher to them in some way, even if they're your parent, you're the parent to them, it doesn't matter. Like, they're still going to grow up separate from you and make their own decisions. They start doing it as soon as they know how to make a choice, which usually happens when they're like a terrible toddler. The terrible twos are called the terrible twos, not necessarily because it happens while they're two. It's because that terribleness lasts 2 years. Check it out. Think about it. Apply it to some people. You'll be like, that's true. All right. And then take from me what keeps me held back. Like, take this like disappointment. I had to ask, my guides to take that disappointment away from me from those kids, because they're just kids. And just because they, those boys that didn't relate to the female protagonist, they didn't hate women. They'd just never been taught to empathize, or to like relate to them. A lot of boys are taught that if they relate to a woman too hard, it might mean that they're too feminine, right? It might call their masculinity into question. My poor cat. I think she's finally going to go away. She's like, I'm out of here. I'm sorry, Lily. Okay. And so let's go ahead and get some more. You guys are going long, group 4. I'm probably just rambling. We have incense, number 28. Incense causes cancer. Don't burn it in your house. Look it up. Allow the smoke to reveal the truth, clearing the haze while lifting the fog. If you use incense for like spiritual purposes, y'all, at least open your windows and don't burn it around your pets or your kids. But like, I would highly recommend only using it outside. I read all kinds of studies because I have reactions to that stuff. I'm only saying this because it came up in the card. Be careful. More cancer-causing ingredients than cigarettes. I'm just saying. Times are changing. We got to roll with the punches here. Ugh. our cop shop in town, that's a police station. Our cop shop in town smells like incense. And I'm like, why? I have to go in there and get my picture taken. Why does it stink like incense in here? It's awful. So allow the smoke to reveal the truth. So like just when you're doing smoke ritual of any kind, y'all, please just, do yourself a favor and do it outside. One thing that I do if I have to do it inside is I just burn a match or two and let that smoke do the work, because my respiratory system cannot handle smoke of any kind. I don't care what it is. Okay. Yeah. Well, that one was fun. So yeah, allow the smoke to reveal the truth. So yeah, if you do smoke rituals, do them outside. There's that fox again. Your guides are saying to, either cleanse yourself with that idea. Smoke can be cleansing. It can reveal the truth. I feel like the truth is that, this wasn't personal on either person's part, right? It's just something that happened. And when we're in those roles, especially if you're a parent and a child, stuff gets emotional. Our emotions get affected by one another. Casserole, trust in the flavors that led you here. An unexpected alignment, let it move you in ways that capture your soul. Okay, so for some of you, you might end up reconnecting with this person in some way. Maybe you bump into them at the store during a holiday, or, if it's you and your kid, obviously you're going to still connect with them. But, maybe over a casserole that you're making, you end up, kind of putting things to bed between each other. Burying the hatchet, as they say. If it's not a relation type situation, you might bump into them in the store, you might run into them online, and you might be able to just kind of heal from that experience together. Especially if it's like the student, honestly, the teacher too. It's like they talk to you or you see them online, and you realize that their values are still like cool and that they're not a bad person, they didn't turn into like a hater, like that kind of thing. All right, let's go ahead and keep going. There's Bridget or Brie. I know I'm friggin' pronouncing it wrong, because nothing in like that old Irish like dialect is how it sounds, or it's not sound. It doesn't sound how it's spelled. There we go. Number 10. May the serpent wake bellow with the rising flame and beckoning the wisdom that awaits your return. Yeah. You're fine, y'all. Like, this isn't like the end all be all. You're never gonna, this is all leading to a better understanding of each other, especially if you're still in each other's lives. Snowflakes. Every moment is a sacred gift, a blessing you shouldn't take for granted, even the uncomfortable ones. Snowdrops. 39. When all seems to stem from the unknown, hold firm to knowing that all will be as it should. Okay, so this all happened for a reason. And antlers, number 3, allow the magic of who you are to be seen by the eyes you keep. You are enough, my dear. Take ease in receiving. So, and the stag always comes in to bring us information. There's another one right there, right? But it almost looks like a fox with antlers. So we've got like a little combo of the two. The stag brings you information, understanding, realizing a big message, okay? And that's coming for you, my soul friends. It's going to be okay. So just embrace the learning. Whether you were the teacher or the student in this situation, or the parent or the child, you both learn from each other. And so this is, I feel like it's temporary. I feel like you're going to heal. I feel like it's all going to be all right. Let's get you some tarot. This came right off the bottom. Yeah, they might get a message to you. Page of Pentacles is all about a message coming through. That's good news. Yeah, it could be a fresh new start between you. There could be some wonderful healing. Justice, balancing things out. Feeling like you get justice for what was done to you, perhaps. 8 of Pentacles, working towards a goal. Being rewarded for hard work. The Moon, trust your intuition and don't worry about the future. Some of you are worried about the future, especially those parents. Page of Wands. Yeah, new energy coming in. Everything is going to be okay. I feel this one too. Ten of Swords, exactly. And every time I say this, it confuses the heck out of my clients. Where we are right now, okay, right this second, meaning even after this reading, the worst has already happened in this situation and you can only go up from here. Does that make sense? Please tell me it makes sense in the comments. Everybody's always like, so it's bad. And I'm like, no, like, it means if you're sitting there without a leg already, you're not going to lose the other one. That's what it means. It's going to heal and you're going to move forward. Whatever bad things have happened up to this point, the bad things are done now and there's only moving forward that is left. Ugh. I'm like, how can I say it differently? Like, it causes so much confusion that, like, I know it's because of me. I know it's because of how I'm saying it. It's like, I know that Lisa gave me a wonderful way to say it, and then I forgot because I have a garbage memory. But go ahead and give me a suggestion in the comments if you want to help me speak more properly. More properly, geez Louise. Okay. If this is helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. Lisa, thank you for the comments and the idea for this reading. Maybe she probably didn't even watch this pile. I'll just have to thank her in person. All right, we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.